Gooner TV, Gooner Sulz. Arsenal got it there at the death. Didn't think they would at one point. What do you make of the game?
That's what I make of the game, man. Aubameyang, the one man that, you know what, hasn't turned up all season. He turned up against Leeds, gave us a hat-trick and then disappeared in the first leg. But then guess what? When we asked him to step up, when we said to him, come on, Aubameyang, you are the super captain for us. Can you do it one more time for us? And that's exactly what he did. But you know what I want to say? You know our future captain today? The one that scored the second goal? Kieran Tierney. Absolute passion. He didn't care about celebrating. He didn't want to celebrate. The first thing he did was rile up the boys and say, come on, we can flipping do this. And that's the first thing he went and done. He didn't celebrate. No self-pride. He wanted this for the team. That's a winner's mentality right there. Do you know when we're talking about who's our captain after Vieira, after Henry, after Bergkamp? Here he is. This is the man that's going to take us forward. And then that 18-year-old super kid, absolutely brilliant. If it wasn't for his inch perfect crosses, we would be talking about a different game today. But the man who had to do it all, the man that we didn't trust in Aubameyang, I said it all week. I put my heart on the line for this guy, my head and my neck, everything on for Aubameyang, and he's absolutely repaid in full. And I'm absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, I mean, he almost had a hat-trick as well. Like, he was so close that second offside. But again, I don't think there's a game that goes past where I can't talk about Bukayo Saka. I mean, what a player. He just gets better and better by the game, doesn't he?
I mean, he's 18 and he's our best player. You know, I know people are going to say it's between Tierney or Saka, but for me, Saka's been more fit. He's been involved more, and he is the super kid. He is absolutely destined for stardom, and I hope to God, because he doesn't look like one of them that's going to get it into his head. He doesn't think he's made it, and that's what I absolutely love about him, because players of that level always think they've made it before they have, and this kid is so humble. He's playing his game. He's enjoying himself out there. When do we ever think Saka and Mistake together? Never. This kid gives us 20 out of 10 performances. Let alone, like, he gives us 150% on the pitch. He makes sure his heart's on the pitch. You know, he is dead after the game. And that's what we ask from our players. We want them to be absolutely giving it their absolute all. When we look at that City game and we see no passion, no fight, and no desire, to now see this from a young boy as well, to come from there, to come to an absolute crucial stage where it's a must-win, an absolutely season-defining game, and to play that maturely, you absolutely just have to stand up and applaud the guy, because he is destined for greatness.
Yeah, I completely agree, mate. I mean, if we got a player like that off of like Real Madrid or you know, Bain's youth team, or if he was Spanish or Brazilian or French, people would be saying, oh, he's worth 50 million quid, wouldn't they? But I don't think he gets the credit he deserves.
I mean, 50 million is undervaluing him. They'd be saying he's like 120, 150 million. If you think about Jadon Sancho being worth that much, Bukayo Saka's on his level. You know, like, I know people are going to sit there and say it's a bit naive to say because it's only been a season and a half, but this kid is getting raved by absolutely everyone. Pep's come out and said things about him. He's got the attention of Klopp. He's got the attention of the Premier League. Every single game, even when we were absolutely poor, he was the one man that was stepping up, giving us 7, 8 performances. I can't, you know, he is undoubtedly one of the best youngsters in the league with Foden. He is neck on neck with Foden, and if we didn't have him, God knows where we'd be. And we're so lucky that he's come from Hale End. He knows Arsenal. He shows that passion game in, game out, and I am absolutely in awe of him, because that is one man I don't want to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree, mate. Arsenal went 1-0 up. We seemed pretty comfortable, passing the ball around okay. Some people say Sabah shouldn't have fouled that guy outside the area. I'm not so sure. You know, these things happen. But, I mean, fair play to the Benfica guy. I mean, he put that in top corner. You can't really say much about that. But then Ceballos, I mean, I don't know what he was doing there. Would you make a Ceballos today? That was a pretty bad mistake, right?
That's not the one I'd blame him for. The one I'd blame him for is Benfica's second goal, because that is beyond stupidity. Either clear your lines, communicate that. And to be fair to him, it's not just him. in a sense of that free kick, I mean, what do you want him to do if he doesn't tackle him, or if he doesn't try and tackle him, should I say? Would complain that, oh, why did you let the man go through that easy? And if they did go and score from that, they would have blamed Spios anyway. So sometimes, when people are being, like, I've always asked for this, to be an aggressive defender. We seem to be this team that backs off so much. So to blame him for actually trying to tackle him is a bit unfair. I mean, he just got beat, and that's unfortunate. It happens. These kind of free kicks are always given away. He's not the only one in world football who's done this. And let's be honest, right? Like, that was an absolute peach of a free kick. That's unsavable. That's not his fault. It's just a brilliantly taken free kick. The one I do blame him for is the second goal, because you either just clear your lines, is what you get taught as a kid. Just clear it. And I know people are going to sit there and say Leno didn't communicate with him and there were other players around, but that's your ball. You're the one right basically underneath it. You've got to be giving a bit more of a conviction in your header and clear that ball properly, or just simply, I don't know what else he could have done other than try and header it better. But thankfully, that's not what we're talking about. And thankfully, we can't sit here and belittle players because we won. We showed the fight after that. We showed the passion to get back into it. And talking about, mistakes is a bit harsh, because they gave us the performance of a lifetime to us, because everyone was dubbing this Olympiacos 2.0. But that's not what happened. We showed the passion, we showed the fight, and it was an intelligent football, and it was an intelligent display today.
Yeah, 100%. On Martin Odegaard, a player I want to talk about quickly. He's had some good touches, he's done some good stuff. Felt he was a little bit quiet today. What's your sort of initial view on him? Is the jury still out on him for you?
I've seen him at Real Sociedad, so and obviously play for Real Madrid B, because I do follow La Liga a little bit. And he's not a player that's going to be. He's not going to attract your attention, if that makes sense. He's a player that's very simple. He does the simple things right, and that doesn't always get the plaudits, because every time the man makes a pass, he makes like defense cutting passes so effortlessly. It's like when Thomas Partey does it, and when Thomas Partey made that pass for Aubameyang's goal against, I believe it was Newcastle, and that's the sort of things you can expect from an Odegaard. He's going to do everything right, and that, unfortunately, because he's not that flary player, he's not that player who's going to take on 2 or 3 men, it never gets noticed, because he does everything so simple and so effortlessly. He is a dream midfielder, and given a bit of time, of course, we can't get too excited, because anyone can have a few games where they play good or they look good, and we can always say the jury's out for players, but he is one of those players. Give him time and he'll show you his true ability. Unfortunately, this is the kind of game where you can't do too much, and you can't overly, like, that's why Pepe didn't play, because Pepe loves to take on one too many people. And what Odegaard does differently is controls the game, and that's what we got from him, and that's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, cool. Moving on to the next round now. Obviously, we just got through Benfica, just about. Can you see us winning it, or do we need to be lucky with a draw, do you think, and avoid a couple of teams? How far can we go?
I mean, if you're in it, you can win it. That's always been my mentality. But when you look at the teams around you, yes, they're tough. But guess what? We played Napoli when they were tough. We had AC Milan as well in previous ones. It's not like we've ever doubted us when we've had tough draws as well. Sometimes, you know what? Arsenal are a team that thrives when they have these tough games, because when we, let's say, for example, the FA Cup, and I know people are you can't just keep referring to it, but we played City and Chelsea where we were absolutely written off against, and they stepped up, and that's what the belief I have in these players, because they have left it to the Europa League. The league, I'm never going to say it's done, because I'm not that kind of fan. I'm not that kind of person. I believe when it's done, it's done, but we have to believe we can win it. What's the point otherwise? What's the point of supporting a team when you don't believe they can go and win this? And we're showing fight and we're showing passion. So why not?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think Wenger sort of instilled that in his players, and the belief that people that they could win even when they thought they couldn't. Just to finish off, mate, just going to ask about the Leicester game coming up on Sunday, I believe. Tough game, got to fly back from Greece. How do you see that one going, mate? What have we got to do to get a result against Leicester?
It is going to be tough, because even even in the first game that we played, it was a smash and grab. It was Brendan Rodgers at his finest. He knew that all he had to do was keep this to 0-0 to about the 80th minute, bringing Vardy on, and Vardy just goes and gets the goal like he always does against us. But what we need to have is some belief in our play. We need to have the passion, because that's the one thing we didn't show against City. City stepped off the gas and we didn't go for them. And I think against Leicester, it's got to be a professional performance where we're absolutely defensively aware of everything, because they've got Harvey Barnes, they've got Vardy, they've got James Maddison, who can, any one of them on any given day can rip any defense apart. So we need to sit there. We need to give them, we don't. And what I don't want to do is give teams respect anymore. Stop playing with this utmost respect for teams, because unfortunately, that's not Arsenal. We need to go on the front foot. We need to stop showing respect to teams, because they clearly don't respect us. So we need to be on the front foot sometimes, and we need to start that game a lot quicker than we did against Leicester the first time. And what I need to see, I want to see Martinelli. I want to see, Pepe play. I want to see, and I don't mind a bit of rotation in this one, because you can bring Martinelli on for Saka, for example, and still have the quality there. You can bring on Lacazette for an Aubameyang and still have the quality there. You can have Martin Odegaard or a Smith Rowe. You don't need to have both in a game like this. And we've rested enough players, and I hope to see at least one or two of them.